So the executive summary is basically the most important parts of the business plan summarized in a first section. So the first section of the business plan.
I can see the whole wide world with these two eyes, and I can be whoever I wanna be, 'cause it's my life.
Hi, thanks for joining us for another episode of Ask Spurrell CPA. Today we're talking about the business plan, executive summary, differentiation factors. So the business plan, executive summary section, and the subsection differentiation factors within that. So we have Cole joining me here again from Edmonton CPA, Spurrell and Associates. Cole, how are you finding your first tax time here?
Oh, it's definitely a change of pace from regular season. So, just got to put the work in, get it done.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs, right? So the quote that we have here today, it's a Benjamin Franklin quote. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail by default. So if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. The statistic that we'll throw at this one is Palo Alto. They're a software manufacturer, and they did a survey of business owners, and they found that business owners who actually completed a business plan, they were 50% more likely to actually grow their business. So completing that business plan, 50% more likely to grow their business. That's why we do business plans built in with our monthly fee here at Spurrell and Associates. And the problem that we have is business owners, they often think that the whole plan matters equally. The whole 40 pages of this business plan matters equally. However, often the high-level bankers who review the application, or there'll be some people in the process, the ones that you might not even speak with personally, they're only going to read the executive summary, which is at the beginning of the plan. Also, having the key ideas, summarized in the section at the front of the plan, it helps keep you focused and allow you to refer the plan during the year when you're busy. You have the key ideas at the front. It just makes things more efficient. So Cole, what are the questions that these business owners they should be asking regarding the executive summary and the differentiation factor specifically?
What is the executive summary and where does it go in the business plan?
So the executive summary is basically the most important parts of the business plan summarized in a first section. So the first section of the business plan, you can think of it as a summary of all the things that are most important right at the beginning of the document, and it's the first section.
Do you put a section in the executive summary for differentiation factors?
I do, yeah. So it's one of the key things, and I believe it's important enough that it should be in your executive summary. So differentiation factors is so important that it should be at the beginning of the document in the business plan, in the executive summary right at the front.
Are differentiation factors similar to competitive advantages?
Yeah, they can be similar, and sometimes they're the same. If you have if one of your differentiation factors is the longevity, your business has been in business forever. That would be a differentiation factor, is the longevity of your company. But it also might go hand in hand with the fact that you have ongoing contractual obligations from your clients. So it's actually not just clients are with you because you've been around a long time, but because you've been around a long time, you have a contractual relation, which is more of a competitive advantage. Also your differentiation factor, you could be actively differentiating yourself from the market because you have higher quality, better trained staff. That's also a competitive advantage. So they're very similar. A lot of them will qualify. A lot of differentiation factors and how you differentiate yourself from your competitors are also going to be a competitive advantage as well.
Okay. Can a focus on a niche customer base be a differentiation factor?
Yeah, that's one of the common focus. Say you're a general contractor and you're only doing build-outs for dentists. So you're doing all the leasehold improvements or constructions of buildings for dentists. You're going to know exactly what it's like to build out the dental office as opposed to another general contractor who, you're the first or second dentist office that he's done, as opposed to you're a general contractor who only builds dentist office. You know exactly where the chairs should go and the servers should go and the x-ray machine should go. That'll be a differentiation factor for sure.
Can having unique features in your product or service be a differentiation factor?
Yeah, you could be the only one who has a particular guarantee. So maybe you have a 3-year guarantee and all of your competitors have a 2-year guarantee. That's a unique feature. You're the only one with an online portal, and everyone else is doing it paper based. So these are common differentiation factors and how you're going to distinguish yourselves, how you plan to distinguish yourself from your competitors in your business plan.
Can focusing on a specific location be a differentiation factor?
Yeah, it certainly can, and it's usually a very powerful. And so there's some businesses that they're very location based. If you're an optometrist or if you're a dentist, some people will travel from across the city. For the most part, people are going to be not just in your city, but they're going to be in your neighborhood too. So having that real strong location focus can be a really good differentiation factor as opposed to someone else who's maybe casting a little bit too wide of a net.
Can branding and marketing be a differentiation factor?
Yeah, branding and marketing can definitely be a differentiation factor. You got the I like you ever seen those window guys, and they're the guys who wear the kilts and they clean the windows. Anybody can clean windows, but these guys have determined that they're going to do it with a kilt. So it's a type of business where it has a very low barrier to entry. Anyone can get a squeegee and a bottle of Windex and start going at it. But these guys have built a brand and had some brand recognition on doing it. The 310 dump guys, they got the big bins and everyone recognized 310 dump, got it, 310 dump. But anybody can get a bin and drive it to the dump. There's not a whole lot of expertise. So in really competitive industries, it can be, absolute. Things like if you're trying to be a realtor, for example, it's highly competitive. There's so many other competitors out there that to not be commoditized, not just to be, well, we're going to go with the cheapest. Sometimes that branding and marketing is one of the only ways that you can really distinguish yourself. There's other people who are already in your location. There's other people that are, already have the type of warranty, the unique features that you do. And sometimes the only way to run to the top is to have that unique brand. So it's often the one that, we look at really strongly for really, let's call them saturated, type industries. If you want to rise to the top in one of those, if you can have, really unique branding, that's a way to rise to the top. It's really difficult to replicate.
Can payment methods and terms be a differentiation factor?
Yeah, that's a common one. You can have, everyone else is, at Spurrell and Associates, everyone else is charging by the hour. Most of our competitors, they charge by the hour, and we charge flat fees. They're flat monthly fees. The clients have the cost predictability. Other businesses, they can offer, we can do financing. You get your furnace repaired with us, you can pay 90 days from now, as opposed to, having to your furnace breaks and have to write a check for $8,000 tomorrow because the house is too cold. So those payment terms are a way that you can think about it. How do I make my business set aside, rise to the top and set myself apart from my competition? If I can offer a different, more convenient payment method and terms, that's one of the ways to do it for sure.
What's the difference between staff experience and organization longevity?
Yeah. When you start saying these, they start to almost sound pretty similar, first off. So you start to say, well, organizational longevity, staff experience is the same thing. They're not sometimes, because you get a lot of business owners and they start, and they might be an experienced vacuum truck driver, and they've been doing it for years and years, but their business just started last month. But they have, 2 decades of experience. So sometimes that staff experience and the organizational longevity are two different things. There's a lot of people with a lot of organizational longevity, they tend to have staff experience too. But just because you just started, those people in the business, that's something that you need to play up. You just went on your own as an electrical contractor or a plumbing contractor, but you've been working at a supervisor for a decade or two before then. So that staff experience can be one that's often missed. A lot of business owners, they start up and they try to promote the brand. What about the people in that brand? The people really consider the people in that brand, both who they are, the quality of them, if they connect with them on more of an emotional level, but also what was their experience. So forget about, this guy just started his business, but he's been an electrician for 2 decades. I don't care that he just started his business. I believe this guy. I believe Joe Smith. I'm hiring Joe Smith to make sure my job goes okay. That goes a long way, and people often start businesses, don't use that to differentiate themselves. They try to promote a brand, which is almost impossible to promote sometimes when it just started yesterday.
Can convenience or customer experience be a differentiation factor?
Yeah, so the way if you're a contractor, you can be the contractor who comes back at the end of every project to walk through it, and then they come back a year later to walk through the same job all over again, make sure nothing cracked, make sure nothing shifted, make sure nothing's leaking. Guess what? Your competition isn't doing that. They're just sitting there hoping the phone doesn't ring. So they, and even they might even be ducking their warranty obligations, right? But you're the guy who actually comes back and does that. Well, guess what? There's probably a referral coming from that too. They might need something else done, or maybe they know someone who needs something else done, and that's a differentiation factor. Maybe you're the only one who can book their appointments online in your business, and everyone else they have to call through and wait on hold. You're a dog walker, and you send a report and a picture of the dog. You didn't just walk the dog, but you made it kind of a fun experience for the person. Those are differentiation factors about that customer experience that they matter. Without those, it's just a race to the bottom, and you're trying to be the cheapest, and being the cheapest eventually means you're going to be out of business. It happens every time. So you have to add those differentiation factors in customer experience. You can make that experience better. That's going to go a long ways for sure. So that's what we have here today on this topic. Thanks again for tuning in. As always, please leave some comments below so we can respond back to you guys and know what you'd like covered in future videos. And as always, please hit the like and subscribe button so we can continue to deliver you tips on how to beat the odds of business. Thanks very much.